all Yemeni water is now under control of the coalition. Sana'a airport, which is Sana'a is the capital, is closed. It's only open for the UN flights and humanitarian flights. We have Aden airport open. We have Sayoun airport, which is in Hadramaut, another Eastern governorate airport functioning. So people can leave the country, but the situation cannot be compared to the situation in Syria because of too many reasons. First of all, Yemenis are, in terms of borders, they cannot just flee the country. They cannot leave the country to neighboring countries. They can leave to other, they can leave to Saudi, they can leave to Oman, but they have to, for example, go through all the processes. The crisis in Syria is that they got to a point of seeking refuge. People needed to seek refuge. Yemenis, whoever left, chose to leave for whatever reasons they had, but we cannot live through the sea. If somebody is ill, it takes 11 hours to drive to Aden. Road is not also safe. Same thing with Hadramaut. So there are a lot of difficulties associated with it. For one, in the past, Yemenis used to get, upon arrival, visas to a number of countries. Now we have to process our visas before arrival. You might get it, you might not get it. So it's a lot of complexities associated with it.
Yeah, the question about your cooperation with other NGOs, because you said you're working together with the Dutch Relief Alliance NGOs, obviously. But I guess there's also NGOs of other donor countries present in Yemen. Is there also, because you say cooperation actually makes aid better, or more effective at least. So do you also cooperate with other countries, NGOs, to some extent?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So CARE is leading another consortium, which is actually funded by the Brits. So yes, there's that one, and then there's one funded by the Americans as well that CARE is a part of. But I think foremost is the humanitarian country team that we have. So it's formally led by the UN, but there's 7 INGOs present who are elected to represent all INGOs on this humanitarian country team, and also the country directors of these INGOs, they meet separately, and then there's also the country directors meetings. So we used to have in Yemen the INGO Forum. It's basically a body that was representing INGOs, just also to facilitate better coordination, to coordinate better with the government and all those things, but it was closed last year. So we've had to find other ways to creatively work together, and I think the humanitarian country team is one example. The CDs, the country directors meeting, is another one, and then of course there's all the different alliances and consortium where people work together. So there's a lot of coordination happening. There's also all the clusters. So there's the WASH cluster. There's the, well, I don't know how many of you are actually aid workers, because I'm about to go into all the stop now. There's definitely several coordination bodies active, and people are also eager to work together, and especially also with the national NGOs, because I think sometimes they have access where we don't have access, and they have knowledge that we don't have. They have skills that we don't have. So also we really need to work with them. And then also there's all the regional bodies as well. So there's definitely a lot of cooperation happening.
I just have a question.
Yes.
Before the war in Yemen, the situation was too bad in terms of economy, in terms of political, even if we speak about that, and many other sites in Yemen. But at that time, the international organizations were discussing the idea of decentralizing their work, because at that point we could notice that all the focus was on the main cities, Sana'a, Aden, Ta'ez, but Sana'a more. Isn't it a good time now, or a good opportunity to start focusing more on the rural areas? Because I can see still that the focus is still on some areas. for example, you were discussing before your plans before March in 2015. But the people in Aden at that time, the time that you were going to a wedding in Sana'a, were being killed by Houthis militia in Aden. So the situation in Sana'a is something, the situation in Aden is something, in Taiz still at this point, and people are being killed and besieged. So it is different from a place to place. I mean, in Taiz, we cannot work in the city, but we can work in the rural areas where most of the density of the population is there. So I think this is also a very golden opportunity for international organization to start focusing on the rural areas, especially when in terms of, or when you speak about women, children too. So I think this is.
I fully agree, and in Thais now a lot of us operate out of Al-Turba, so we have, and I've been told, see, and I've been, yeah, so and I've been told it's kind of a rural place still. I don't want to offend you, but this is what I've been told. But so I think that there is. See, there we go. No, and Haja and Amran, and I think in Hodeida as well. So we're definitely decentralizing more because it's also the only way we can continue to do our work. If everything has to go through Sana'a, it takes a really long time. So and a lot of agencies are doing this. So this is definitely very good advice, and I think a lot more of us are hearing that message and are acting accordingly.
And for just so that I clarify something, I'm originally not from Sama. I was born and raised there, but I'm originally from Hadramaut. My family, my extended family is in Aden. I've lost loved ones, and I've lost friends to the war. It's not about north and south. Yemen is bleeding its best. North, south, central, the best of the best are leaving the country, dying, or basically seeing no hope. So when I spoke about my own experience, but I cry every single Yemeni from Sada to Al-Mahal. They're Yemenis, so it hurts me. It does. I mean, I don't care for Houthis, I don't care for whoever. I care for the everyday Yemeni women, boy, girl who lose their lives. Yeah, and are still suffering. They all, it cuts like a knife to see all that bleeding in Aden. To see, my last visit before I came to Holland was to Aden, and I could not believe the magnitude of damage. And it hurts me because I have loved ones there, and I lost a few. So, yeah. Just one.
Thank you both for the answers, and thank you for the good questions. And